but when I'm in the pub, I don't really notice the passage of time when I'm drinking. So we're putting in little alarms to remind you to keep track of what you're taking and what you're experiencing. And I think this is very valuable when you look at it in a drug consumption. If you get into the habit of keeping a proper track of what you're taking, you've got a lot more sort of reassurance for yourself that if things start to go a bit wrong. Also get a little reminder to sort of test yourself in the morning when you may be hungover, to compare your sort of cognitive state in good and bad times. So then sort of what it's all about is a range of different games. At the moment there's 6 on the application we've written so far, but this is again modular, and because it's an open source project, we're hoping that other researchers with different tasks might suggest that a little task which would be good for us to have in, and we can add to this list. For each one, you really can't see on here, I'm sorry about that. It tells you the number of times you played each one and when you last played it. Sort of from the scientist's point of view, it's important that we get people to test themselves across a range of these different tasks. So some of these are cognitive, some of these are emotional, some of them are coordination. And yeah, this one here with numbers, a couple of people said to me, what if I absolutely hate anything to do with maths? Yeah, they may shy away from that, and they may not be capturing something that's quite interesting and important about their reasoning. So let me just go through. 4 minutes. Oh, the slides didn't come through for that, unfortunately. So you can't see what's on the screen here, unfortunately. But this task involves 6 words appearing on the screen with different emotional valences. So it might be fire, happiness, anger, umbrella, and cast. There'll be some negative ones, some positive ones, some neutral ones. Each case, you just press the one that you like the most. And we have norms for that, so that we can assess sort of what style of words you're choosing in a given state. This one is very similar, but it's just tracking different words for drunk. That's just for my interest more than anything else. These 2 tasks are more cognitive. So in this one, little animals appear on the screen. You've got to press them as fast as you can. That's testing your coordination and your reaction time. And there's also, Chris and I can put time to that. The numerical Stroop, I don't know if anybody's familiar with that. Basically, Stroop tasks are tasks which it's very difficult to do, whatever state you're in. You have to concentrate. The natural tendency in a situation like this, say press the bigger number, is to press the physically bigger number. But I think we want to press the numerically bigger number. And so if we do that task, that's really testing your inhibition and your frontal control in your brain, and that is going to be dramatically affected by the different drugs and things you're taking. Then the charts, at this point there isn't a lot to see on this, will be tracking and feeding back your performance over the period you're taking it, both within a single session and then averaging it over from the beginning of when I started drinking to when I'm fully recovered from my hangover. Sort of an average curve of what you want to do. So one of the ways I've described this is thinking about your pool curve. Whenever I'm in the pub, after about 2 or 3 pints, I'm really good at playing pool, better than I was with none in my system, and then it drops off. So I want to be able to use this application to plot my coordination over alcohol, and know exactly how much alcohol makes me better at playing pool, and just how much I'm actually drinking. At this point, I couldn't tell you how much I drank last night, and it's probably useful information to know. Where are we now? We're in the middle of testing the software. We're going to release it to the world in May. Right now, we're looking for people who have got Android phones and are interested in the very, very early stages of testing. So send me an email if that's you, or come see me afterwards. From June onwards, we're going to release it into the App Store, make it available to future, well, obviously drugs, I think I've covered that to some extent, and the idea that the bigger the data set, the better. So the more people we get using this, the more substances we get covered in it, that we get not just a quantitatively bigger data set, but you can do qualitatively different things when you have a very large data set. Things emerge that you just would not have known if you didn't capture all of that. And another sort of big part of that is we're hoping to capture the missing millions of everyday, drug use, which just does not get recorded in normal scientific surveys. We want to show that lots of people are doing this all the time with no harm and no effect. We also perhaps should do some small data. We should do some laboratory conditions, control versions of this task to really validate that our tasks are working as we think they are. Other data, so if you link this to your music player and track your emotions when your favourite music comes on, that could be quite interesting. Another thing we really quite want to do at some stage is, right at the moment, I'm wearing a heart rate monitor, and so that's been my heart rate over the course of this talk. If we can get that data linked into what's happening when you're taking drugs, that, from a scientific point of view, is going to be quite interesting. And then we want suggestions, we want ideas and collaborators. So your input is completely crucial to this. Thank you very much.